Okay, so here's a excellent example of why I should have used layers on this project. We'll be able to see what needs to happen in order to address these revisions that they're asking for. This is project in Hillsborough. The the plans were not approved, and it was primarily in regards to some civil engineering issues, as well as one issue that finally came up on on the landscape plans. Let's see. So this is uh, the the rejection notice here. And yeah, again, most of it was civil engineer stuff, but this is the final review by the town engineer, and we get down to, let's see, this is sheet C2.1. That C2.1 means it's the civil sheet. 3.2, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. So this is my stuff or the landscape stuff. So sheet L2. It says no trees or permanent structures shall be proposed or constructed within any PUE, which is public utility easement, bordering the interior property lines or within the property itself. Remove proposed trees from public utility easement. Provide all trees proposed within 2 feet of the public utility easement to have a root barrier. Should these restrictions cause changes to the proposed landscape, all subsequent landscape changes after initial ADRB planning department approval must be resubmitted for approval to the planning department, which we do not want to do. That's a tough process. And then also, trees shall not be proposed within the right of way. Relocate trees to be within private property. So that's my task here, is to take all of the trees that I've put within the public utility easement out, and then anything that is in the right of way out. So I'm going to go to the plan now, and here's my list of my latest revisions back in January. Let's see. So this is L1. This is L1, and this is the latest revision. So this is January 10th. This is January 9th, and then everything else is based on it. So L1 is landscape plan, elevation plan, planting plan, materials plan, irrigation plan, and then tree mitigation plan. So the plans that I have to revise are going to be landscape plan. I don't have to revise the elevation plan. The planting plan, I have to revise. I'll have to check the irrigation plan, and then tree mitigation plan. So I'm going to start with the planting plan, because that one will make the most sense, because it shows all of the other all the other plants that are proposed on it. So this is Jamie Lee Stretch, lovely. So this is from my January 10th revision. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to select this. I'm going to copy it and place a new revision here. And I'm going to call it revision 3 and date 4/27. And then I'm going to delete that. And you can see this original submittal date for all this stuff was a year ago, 13 months ago. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go take out any cloud changes from the previous change. So that goes. And then I'm going to see how sloppy I am outside. Might as well delete that stuff for clarity. And so I'm going to go ahead and revise this plan. So the two things, if we pop back on here, not that, we're on this, is remember, remove proposed trees from public utility easement and anything within the proposed right-of-way, relocate trees within the property line. And note here, so it says remove proposed trees from public utility easement, and then provide all trees proposed within 2 feet of the public utility easement to have a root barrier. I don't like using root barriers. I don't like planting trees closer than 2 feet to any hardscape. I've just seen too many times where a tree is planted close to hardscape and you have to put in a root barrier, and the tree ultimately suffers. I've had trees, to be honest, I don't even remember ever putting in a root barrier for a tree, just because I plant them far enough outside of hardscape, concrete, patio, etc. But the tree, like mature trees that fail, fall down, die, etc. I usually find that it's really close to a root barrier and it can really disrupt its growth. So if you don't know what a root barrier is, love this. My kids just changed my Google background here. Lily and Nico, they're having a lot of fun. Let's see. So root barrier. And so here we can see, let's just look at images. So these are root barriers, okay? Some of them are just, it's a high density polyethylene. This is a roll, it's 60 mil thickness. This one's 18 inches. You can get them probably up to 36 inches is my guess. This one here, they link together and they have these ridges on them. And the intent of those ridges is so that as roots get closer and closer to or as the roots hit the root barrier, they typically start moving laterally. So they start moving to the side once they hit the barrier. And what the intent of the ridges is so that when the root hits the barrier and starts moving laterally, it then hits another barrier and the root thinks, well, boy, I've already hit a barrier laterally. Maybe I should go down. So I guess that's the way roots think. Here's a good example here. You see that? It hits it and just goes straight down. It does what it's told. So, if I were to use a root barrier, I guess that's probably what I would use. But on this plan, oh, look at this. Interesting. Looks like those things fell over, didn't they? Here. Huh. This one. I guess I don't have time to dive into this. This here is a detail of a root barrier. So this is no root barrier, and this is with root barrier. And it says 12-inch minimum from the tree. Yeah, I've just seen it too many times where there's failures. Everything just gets bound in here, and if it's 12 inches, it's just way too close. This here, this is actually a good reason to use them. If you have a tree that's planted really close to a retaining wall and there's a drainage field behind the retaining wall, then you'd want a root barrier here because otherwise these roots are just going to go right into this whole drainage system. So you want to keep that off or out of the gravel drainage system, because those roots will just find its way to the wettest spot and just fill that entire thing. So this is a good use for it. But still, I'd try and plant this tree as far away from that as possible. Sometimes, though, like as with our plan here, there's situations where it's just really, really close. I should probably move that one. I'm going to move this guy. These are the orchard trees, so these don't really matter. These will be placed sort of arbitrarily. So I'm going to uncluster those. Sorry, just getting different things done here. There we go. Okay, so first thing is move trees outside of public utility easement. So this is property line here. This is public utility easement line. It's 5-foot line off of the property line. So 5 feet off the property line. And this right here is a Quercus agrifolia. So it's a number 13. And I do not like labeling trees this way, but the city required it. So this is how they require you to label them. So a number, key, botanical name, the quantity, and the size. So here are my trees planted within the public utility easement. So I've got 1, 2, 3. This one is maybe 2 feet, so I want to check that one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, get those individually. So I've got to move this Western Redbud to within public utility easement, and I'm going to take this public utility easement and I'm going to move it 2 feet so I make sure that that I do not have to put a root barrier on these. So I'm sort of going to just push these to a point that they are less than 2 feet, or they're more than 2 feet outside of the public utility easement so that I don't have to root barrier them. So there's one. This is a Quercus palustris, so pin oak. And good thing that's not within 2 feet of the public utility easement. I don't have to deal with that. This Cercis occidentalis, not within that area. And let me move this out to 2 feet. So I'm just putting this in as a reference line, and maybe I should do something smart like color it a different color than is on here already. So I'm going to go with sky blue. Whoops. Flare, revise, sky blue. This is just so that I remember that it's there and that I need to erase it before I resubmit. And then the other thing that I have to do here is I have to cloud any changes. So I'm going to just take this cloud that I've already made and I'm just going to modify it. Not because I'm lazy, but because clouds are a pain in the butt. Maybe there's probably an easy way in CAD, I'm sure, but I'm not using AutoCAD. So the reason I'm clouding is because this shows whoever's reviewing these plans where to look for any changes that have been made. Man, this is a goofy cloud, huh? Man, I would have been better off just making a new one. With sound effects, you guys. Thanks. Okay. They asked for it. And okay, so I've got everything dealt with on this, the eastern property line. So I'm good there. And then let's do west property line. Here I'm a little bit challenged. So the easiest way for me to get through this, and this is not from a design standpoint, this is just to survive here. Easiest way for me to get through this is to not change my quantities at all, because then I'm going to have to change a bunch of stuff. All the other plans have to change. And I don't want to dive into changing the the tree mitigation plan. So bottom line is I've got to get this Quercus agrifolia outside of the public utility easement. So I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to like draw a circle around this to make sure that I'm as far away from hardscape as possible. And I'm going to check the diameter on it. Radius is 2 feet 3 inches. So I've got like 5 feet within that space. I'm okay. It'll probably be something that we'll have to modify in construction, but I'm okay with that. And so I'm going to move a cloud over that, and I'm going to make this bigger. So I'm going to like make the size like 50% larger. I don't want to copy it. And I'll do 50% larger again. And this guy here is another, this is a Cornice, Florida Cherokee Chief. There's 2 of them balancing things out, and I like that. Here's the house, but now we're into the finishing stretch here. I got to get this outside of the public utility easement, and I can't put it up against the back of this retaining wall, so I have to move it somewhere else entirely. And the cruddy thing here is I can't put it here because this is the house corner here, and I can't put it within a mature canopy within 10 feet of the house. So I don't even know where to put it. To be honest, I'm going to put it in the neighbor's property for right now, and then I'm going to check everything else. But in the meantime, so that I remember things, I'm going to bring this, and I'm going to cloud it. I'll probably make that a little bigger. 0.1% larger. Copy it. A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. Perfect. Okay, so I still got to get back to this. Nothing else, though, is going to impact that. These are shrubs. This is a tree, but we're well within our area there. I guess I should check this one here. 2 feet. Let's see if this one is 2 feet off, and it's like planted right on the 2 feet. So I'm going to move that. So it's clearly outside of that, and then I'm going to grab a cloud because I made a change. Okay, so we're good there. So I can take that off. I'm done. And that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so eastern property line, good. And reason this is eastern property line is north is straight down, which typically you wouldn't do, but all the other typically you would have the north arrow facing like sort of up, right? But all the rest of the design subs on this one, they all, and the architect drew the layout this way, so I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to put north up. So anyways, this is east property line. And I'm good on that, but I know I need to move a couple other things, so I want to make sure that I keep that 2-foot distance. So I'm going to keep that in there for now. I'm good on this. Now, the next thing I need to do is this right here is the public right-of-way. So right here is public right-of-way. So technically their property is like all the way back here, but the right-of-way is here. This basically means that the city, town, whatever, county can expand this road, so, and it gives them room to do it. But here I've got trees planted within that, so I do have to move them. And these are vine maples, Acer circinatums, cool plants, small tree. And this project is in kind of like a ravine, pretty shady. So I'm moving all of these basically so that I can show them right on or just back from the right of way. So I've got all those moved. Now, what I need to do here is the requirement from fire was to have mature canopies about 10 feet away from each other. So I've got to move this one to that mark. So I make sure that when this thing is mature, its canopy is 10 feet away from this tree. Same thing here. Oh man, this just kind of screws me here. This is going to do the same thing. So I had good placement on that. Now I have to move this to within public utility. So there's my mark there. Means I've got to move this to there. And so this one's good, this one's good, this one is bad. So I don't have 10 feet there. There we go. So I can't plant that there. Look at this. I have to move this too. So this one's pretty easy because I've got the room to do it. This one I can shift. Man. So I've got to shift this one. To there. I'm pretty sure I'm at least 10 feet off here to the structure. Yeah, 12 feet. Okay. So basically I just have to lose this thing. I'm gonna have to move this. And I think what I'll probably do is I'm gonna move this out. I gotta remember to cloud everything that I move. Cloud, 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 cloud. And this spacing, this is pretty good. I like that. But this feels really naked to me. This guy looks like it needs to be moved a little bit. Push that up to there. And cloud. I'm looking at this and thinking that maybe I should move this to the side, but the only remaining, like this tree here, I should move that to the side, but the only remaining like design balance here is this is a Coast live oak centered on front door, and then we've got this nice like symmetrical balance, and then we've got balance out here. So I like that, but I gotta find somewhere to shove these. I think maybe the orchard fruit trees are going to have to go for now. And I'm going to have to take this vine. I've got a vine maple and a cornice. To be honest, again, I am not, I'm honestly not going for any design brilliance here. I'm just trying to get this submitted for the client as soon as possible. And so I've got structure here, so I want to make sure that I'm 10 feet away from that. 5 feet away from structure, and then plants at 10 feet. So canopies at 10 feet. So this one at 10, and then this one at 5. Okay, so I'm good there. So I can move this one a little bit further away, and that's it. I guess I can do this. Huh? Put it right on that 2-foot mark, and then I've got plenty of coverage. Try and get this one as far away from it as possible. There. So I'm good there. Good there. Good there. So I've maintained my quantities. I don't have to screw with that. I've clouded everything that I've moved. I haven't clouded that. Cloud this guy. And I'm probably gonna increase it by 50%. Oops. There we go. And then I'm going to delete all these. Okay, now I'm going to save this as C. So this was BL1. No, this was planting plan. B. 2. So this is going to be C. CL2, and date is 7. Good. Okay, so I've got that done, and oops, got that guy. Delete that. Okay, so that one is done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything. So again, this is where my layers and modes would have come in real handy. I forgot to delete that, and I forgot to delete that, so remember that. So I'm highlighting those moves that I made. So those are all highlighted or selected. And then I'm going to select something that I can put this info into the rest of my drawings. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to move all those items over. Okay, so I'm good there. And delete that. Delete that. Okay, so L2 is done. Save. And then I'm going to open my next drawing that I need to modify, which is going to be my landscape plan. And this one here is landscape plan. So landscape plan, I have, see how sloppy I am. Might as well get these out of here. Let's see what that was. 1. Copy that. 1 is still in there. That's good. Let's see, somehow it fell off of this one. This. Copy down for clarity. Cool. Delete that. And then I've got to bring this over into the landscape plan. Control C. Go. There we go. Bring this in. Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Delete that. Cool. Let's see here. So I'm going to see if I can, I'm probably just going to go in and select the matching trees that are moved. This one, this one. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one moved. That one moved. These got deleted. So that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 trees. Okay, so now I've got the right ones highlighted. Delete those. Delete that cluster. And now I'm going to take all of these from this point and place them into that point there. Cool. And I think that does it. I do need to get my number 3 in here. And get rid of that. So this is delta 3. And I'm going to remove my delta 2. I think that's good. Only thing is I need to bring my raster image back in here. Imaging. Now I want to look at this, and here's the vicinity map. So this I had done on a different computer. Nope. So this is, I want to see what this whole thing is. Vicinity map. So I got to just remap it onto this computer. So client folders, Burgess, design. I should find a vicinity map in here. There we go. Back map. Click OK, and there's my vicinity map. So I think I'm good on this. And I've got a file, save as drawing, and this is going to be L2C. And 8 is 427. No, this is landscape plan. Oops. 1. Landscape. Save. Save. I'm going to keep this planting plan open because this has my changes on it. But the next one I'm going to open is going to be a file, open, drawing, my elevation plan. The reality of this is I should probably just move this up a little bit. I don't think anybody would ever check it, but it's just what I'm going to do. Same thing. I'm literally being a very bad designer right now. Because I'm just so arbitrarily doing this, but the clients need to submit their plans, and so I'm just getting it done, which is kind of a shame, but well, it's a real shame. Don't ever do it like this. What am I going to do here? Planting plan. I'm going to grab this one, which is the most wonky, and this. And I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go into my elevation plan. And I'm going to elevation, and good thing it fits it, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Delete that, and I'm going to do a file, save as, drawing, and I'd named this elevation plan wrong anyways. 3, C, 27, great, and save. So these are the elevations here that are referenced in the landscape plan. So this shows the elevations. So this indicates L3, sheet L3, section D, or elevation D, L3C, L3B, L3A. And so this line here is like a elevation cut so that whoever's looking at these plans can see what's happening through that cut. So here is the cut. This is what the lower road is, hill up to the house, driveway, etc. And I moved this acer circinatum. So, and no other like previous modification that I've made has affected this plan, but this one was affected. So I made the changes. So now on to the next, open, drawing, materials plan. There's not going to be any changes on the materials plan. But I'm going to have to take this off and take that off and go back into my imaging, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I got to remap all these. This sucks. Hopefully they're in a smart spot. Client folders, O1, Burgess, design. Here they are. So I need that. Oops. Not what I needed. This was pea gravel. Oh, what a pain. Cancel that. And I'm going to have to bring up what the heck the maybe yes. No. Did I bury it somewhere? Excuse me while I talk to myself for a while. Not there. Client folders, architect, design, and I want to view this by give access to include library, send to, and one view. Large icons. There we go. That's what I need. So I want to see those, and then I also not view larger icons. 2019, 110. I want to see what this actually looked like, so I know. There we go. Don't show that again. Trimming, is that really the one that I opened? Damn it, I did. I need materials plan, there we go. Not the time for you to seize it, there we go. Let's prepare for content preparation progress processing. I don't want that. But in the meantime, hopefully I can do this. So 7, I've got steps, 6 pea gravel, 5 wall, 4 thermal finish bluestone, 3 is bluestone, paver, concrete. Okay, so let's do this logically. So I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to check this, and I'll do concrete first. Material square, so where I'm looking is 2018 plan set material square concrete.jpg. The same all the way through. Material square concrete. Okay. Looks like I've done this several times. C, use layers. So 2018 plan set. Where was that? There we go. 2011, them there. So 2018 plan set there. Material square there. Okay. Found it. And then I'm going to go to quarry stone, file, bring the same thing. There's quarry stone, bluestone, file, bluestone, cap stair treads, file, and lock wall marine Gilmer. I don't know where I pulled this stuff from. There we go. And click OK. And everything came up except for my pea gravel and my steps. So gotta go deeper. Ooh, where the hell did I put that? Close that. Materials, image, path, drainage, pea gravel, venue services. So up 1, material images. There we go. And then the last one, same spot, weird file name. There we go. Click okie dokie. There. Okay, so no changes on this one. But I want to save it as the set. So save as drawing, and I'm going to go materials plan, change it to C, 8, 427, okie doke. Save and file, open, drawing, and here I go to irrigation plan. Okay. This won't be too bad. We've looked at this one before. Okay, so I'm just going to move some of this stuff, and then I'm going to bring in my cloud. Looks like I've exploded that previously. I don't want to copy it. I don't want constraints on. I'm going to put it right there. And I want to take that, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it, move it. Oh wait, this is actually delete it. I guess the easier way would be to just go to my planting plan, grab this stuff. So I'm just putting these in here so that I know, I know where to move this stuff. There we go. So that we're good on. That will be dedicated for that. That we're good. Here's last one, 2. This one is just deleted. Actually, I'm not going to delete that. I'm going to move it outside so I can adjust my numbers. That's what I did. So there's some square footage there. Anything else? Let's get near with it. Delete that. And I want to move this. Oh, God. See, I had made a change previously, probably in haste like this, and I removed some stuff. This guy's way out of whack here. Yay, come on. I'm just going to pretend like that never happened. This guy here. Moved. Okay, everything else good? Yes, everything else is good. Good, good. Okay, so this, I'm going to check the area on it. That's 32 square feet times 4. 32 times 4 is 128. So I have to adjust that one. I think it's this one, down by 128. This. Yeah. I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it down to here, and I'm going to change that to 568 minus 128 is 448. Amazing math, isn't it? And it's only 6:53 in the morning. So I'm good there. I want to get rid of that. To be honest, I don't even care about the other stuff right now. Outside of it, I'll keep it nice and sloppy because that's the way I roll. Get rid of those. You good? Oh, I'll just get rid of that. Okay. So this is irrigation plan complete, and I'm going to file, save as drawing, and B5. So let's change this to DL5 0427. Save. Cool. I want to bring my 1 back in here. Oh, the glamour. Cool. Cool. Oh, I guess I should. I don't want to show that because I didn't before. I don't want to show that because that didn't change anything. Oof. Exploded. Missed a couple things here. I'm not going to show that. It's just going to confuse people. We don't want to do that. Don't show 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 that. I don't want to show the trees because I hadn't previously showed them. And don't want to show the tree unless they were there before. I don't want anybody to freak out. I think that does it. I should probably reduce size on all these, maybe to like 0.666. There we go. I don't want to copy it. I just want to make these clouds smaller. I guess for the umpteenth time, use layers and modes and be clean about your files. Otherwise, I guess you guys will be able to see like how long this took me. But I would have had to just revise 1 plan, which would have been so lovely. I could have done something else from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Monday morning. Do you want to copy that? Put that there. All good. Clouded, clouded, clouds all relate to the 3rd revision. I've already saved it as the CL5 irrigation plan, so save that file. Save as. Nope. I need to open my tree mitigation plan from my B revision. Ooh, look at that. Stop. Look away, look away. Nothing to see here. Good. This stuff. Okay, so this is the one that I do have to bring in. I have to replace this. The architect recently emailed and said, why don't we take out all of these trees too? Because they're just not very pretty. But I told him to no, primarily because we're allowed to take this one out. So this is number 34, pine. 34 is a pine remains. And we don't have to mitigate the pine removals. So maybe I'll do that. But these oaks here, it's a bay. I mean, ultimately, sorry, let me explain what's happening here. This is a tree mitigation plan. All the red circles, all those represent trees that are going to be removed from the site. Now, before you go saying, oh my God, Chelo, what, you hate trees? You want to kill the world? No, I don't. I love trees, and I love existing trees. However, here we've got the legend here. So this is an example of an existing tree to remain. So it's a circle with an inner circle named, and then this one here is, so it shows a number existing, right? And it has an X through it. So these are all trees that are going to be removed. These would all have to be removed for construction anyways. So this one is within like the building. This one is heavy grading. This one is adjacent to a retaining wall that's necessary. These ones are, frankly, these ones are crap. It says 6-inch oak, 8-inch oak, a cherry. These are all just crap trees. In fact, all of them, the arborist labeled them all as in poor condition. So those all need to get removed. And he wants to remove these too, right? And what the tree mitigation plan does is this shows like new trees that we're going to be planting to, yuck, those are in a tight spot. New trees that we're going to be planting to offset the removal of existing trees. So this, like here, we've got number one is a 12-inch oak. It's removed. It's in poor health. We're replacing it with one Quercus agrifolia in 24-inch box size. So we'll go find that. It's down here somewhere. Tree number one. There it is. So this oak, poor health, we're taking it out and we're going to replace it with the number with another oak. Okay, so this just shows them like a, plus or minus, whatever it is. So we remove one, we got to replace it with another. If you use a 24-inch box, you just use one. If you use a 15-gallon, you have to use two. So I'm going to go back to the landscape plan. No. I'm going to go back to my planting plan where I originally made my changes. I'm going to highlight this because I'm going to do like that copy over again. So I'm going to copy this, go to my tree mitigation plan. I'm going to paste it into this file, and then I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. I'm not going to get that property line because I don't want to double things up. Right back in this corner. The only reason I grabbed that property line for this import was because that's confusing. was so that I could paste it into the correct spot. Just delete that. Excuse me, COVID. So now what I'm doing is I moved this. I moved this. So I'm just putting it in here and I'm just relocating, keeping the cloud on. And originally, like, I guess to bring it full circle, everybody, is the reason I wanted to keep all of my plants in equal quantities. I didn't want to screw with the quantity of trees or the types of trees was ultimately so I didn't have to go back in and screw around with this tree mitigation plan, because it's we don't want to go there. It'll bring all the different reviewers into the game here. So if I cloud this and I make changes in here, then it has to go to city arborist, it has to go to the town consulting landscape architect, it has to go to fire marshal, it has to go to everybody. And so I'm avoiding that by not messing with quantity of trees or types of trees. So again, I'm being a bad designer and don't do it as I do it. Do as I say. Just a little helpful advice, you know. Ultimately, the real helpful advice here, though, is to do your plans right the first time. Otherwise, you get to spend your 6 o'clock hour to 7 o'clock hour doing this. Did I get it all? I think so. You guys are probably seeing something that I didn't do. Oh, good. Here, take this revision out. I want to put this one in. This is just a list of revisions, and then this indicates that anything clouded is, not there. Not there. And I want to copy that. Copy that there too. Okay, cool. I think that does it. Okay. So move some trees. And back to original comment, which was yes. So sheet L2, no trees or permanent structures shall be proposed or constructed in any public utility easement bordering the interior property lines or within the property itself. Remove proposed trees from public utility easement. Provide all trees proposed within 2 feet to have root barrier. Should these restrictions cause changes to the proposed landscape, all subsequent landscape changes after initial ADRB planning department approval must be resubmitted for approval to the planning department. Yes. Done. Tree shall be right of way relocation. And again, I didn't want to use the root barrier. Okay. And that's just from personal experience, personal and professional experience. Super professional here. I have to change this. 119.21. No, I'm good. Okay. So, file, save as drawing, and this is my C revision. B revision changed to C revision, and date is 7. And I'm done. So now I'm just going to print all these out. And that's going to be a file print. Oops. So I'm going to go to each one. I'm going to do a file print. I use free PDF writer, cute PDF writer. It's free, which is really cheap, inexpensive. I'm going to make sure that my print area is clean. I'm going to print it, and then I'm going to set it up in its own file. Come on, Bessie. And then use an online PDF combiner. Go. Not Miller time. It is third this time. And this is 2019, even though it's still 2020. This is in the 19 folder. And I'm going to create a new one that is the 2722020 set. And I'm going to put it in that. Save. Next one is L2 planting plan. And I'm going to save file print. Good. One thing to note on here is that for I can't remember how big this property is. This is a save. This property is probably an acre. Two, 3,105. Half acre. So half acre, and we've used 17 different types of plants. So more mass planting, bigger impact. Ultimately, like they'll end up wanting to do a lot of infill here, but I like to try to keep it to a minimum. Okay, L3 elevation plan. Oof, oof, oof. And maybe this is inefficient. It probably is. But oops. But the printing on this, obviously it's all individual plans, but I like to print like this. I like as many opportunities as possible to like take that last look at the plans, because I'm not seeing them printed, and sometimes that can be like a little detrimental, because these are all sent digitally, and if you don't print them out and take a look at them, then it can be really challenging to see if there's something that's not going to print out quite right. You know, like this is going to be a pretty faint line, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, save that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, save file. Might as well put that on there. So delta 1, 2, 3. Control C. Materials plan just shows like materials or finishes that are going to be visible in the landscape from the street, because in Hillsborough, everybody cares. I'm going to put a little note here. No changes this sheet. Beep. Okie doke. That's just so that you're just being friendly, making people happy. When they go to review this plan and, you know, they got like an argument with somebody earlier, they're going to be angry, and they get to sheet, what is this, 4, and they're like, where are the changes? And then they see this, and it says, changes 3, 4/27, 2020. There's the cloud, and it says, no changes this sheet. They're going to say, cool. I don't even have to look for anything. And then we'll just go to the next one. It's like a bonus. Right? I'm so happy. We'll see, I have time to get up and get another cup of coffee. Come on, last one. Please just come up for me. So these, maybe the disadvantage here is it takes the old cute PDF writer takes a couple minutes to. There we go. Thanks, guy. And irrigation plan. Save file. Print. Print. Good. And in the meantime, I'm gonna do a couple things while I'm waiting for that. I'm gonna go to PDF Combiner. Free. Small PDF. CombinePDF.com. Like that. Okay. And there's my 5. That's ready to come up. And then 6. Save. Print. Cool. Okay, so the couple things that I'm going to do here in the meantime, just so I can be super efficient, is go into this. Consultants, please email files at will. His name is not Will, but I will reply. Oh, yay, all done. Let's see, first thing I want to do is go into this print set, open, and I want to open all these and make sure that everything, I don't want to do that. I want to cancel that. What is going on here? Tasks. Sound capture tray. Origin, tablet. Elgato sound capture tray. What is that? I don't want to stop anything because I am recording this for your viewing pleasure. Okay, so we're good here. No. No. Okay, so there's one. And again, I'm just opening each one of these to make sure that it printed correctly. Oh, look at that, it's reading it. Looks good. Elevation plan. Looks good. Materials plan. Looks good. Irrigation plan. Looks good. Mitigation plan. Looks just fine. Okay. So now I'm going to minimize that. And I'm going to drag here. And I'm going to have to reorder these. 6. So it's uploading these. Looks like it's out of order. And so I got to put it into order. Go grab my 2. And how do I do that? Oh, this sucks. I can move those guys. I want to. I'll delete that one, and I'll upload the file directly. There's videos of my children. Thanks, kids. Land for folders, merges, 19, 9, 2020, print set, and upload that one. Ugh. Alright, how am I going to do this now? There we go. I'll get rid of one of these. Put that there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then upload 6. Now they're in the correct order. And I'm going to combine. What this is doing is just combining this into one while I wait for the 10 minutes to combine that. Seriously? That's what happens when you do things for free, JLo. Welcome. Okay. So here I'm going to reply all. And I'm going to say, hi, Mark. Hi, Mark. Revised landscape plans. If you have any questions, thanks, Google. I write this. I've written this same thing to him probably 18 times. But landscape plans attached. Please let me have any questions. Thank you. And so this is going to the architect, the client, civil engineer, the primary architect. This is the drafting architect, client, civil. This is the structural engineer, the design architect, and another client's son. I think that's it. So that was that. I'm not going to have you sit for 30 minutes or however long this is going to take to combine and download. But that was, if you've made it this far, that was doing a revision. If you end up working for yourself and you end up working on literally like any plans that you're going to have to submit to a city, county, any municipality, you're going to have to do this. So I feel like we got to see a lot of things here. Mostly like work that would show you that you need to be clean with your drafting. and don't do this. I've told you guys about this project a bunch of times, and my guess is I'm going to have a couple more revisions on this, which is just ridiculous, but it's the way that it works. So cloud, this indicates a change. There's been 1, 2, 3 revisions. So anybody reviewing this can like see changes, see what was changed when. And then any changes that were actually made, get these clouds so that whoever's reviewing it can see, oh, this is the 3rd revision, and the 3rd revisions are clouded, and here's my clouds. Okay, so that they can see where these things are. And that's about it. So hope you guys are all well. I have done my work on this plan, which is wonderful. And now I'm going to move on to the next.